He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the wall. You have to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go.
Welcome in, everybody. Class 3A Week 7 rankings. Cadeness joined alongside, as always, by Andrew Brown. Hey, we just got a few more sets of rankings for Class 3A and 4A before postseason gets started next Friday, July 12th. So we're nearing postseason play here across the state of Iowa as we get Class 3A rankings ready to roll, and we will get right into it, straight into the point. 15 through 11 here. Clear Creek Amanda, they take a dip, as well as Central DeWitt. They've been a mainstay inside the top 10, but a little bit of a rougher week has them dropping down. Xavier, Grinnell, and Center Point Urbana, they get a bump up. Xavier had a nice week. I know we were talking about that before the show. Andrew, the Saints are going to be a force in that sub-state bracket with Marion, Sadell, and company. That one's one to look out for as we get closer to bracket play. But let's get inside the top 10, Andrew. An Assumption, they dropped last week. I know we actually got some comments about them dropping so much. Down 4 spots last week. Bounce back. Our 3A ranker must have saw something. I don't know. But now they're back up 3 spots right to where they started. What have you liked from Assumption so far? Sweep over Pleasant Valley is something to note for sure.
Yeah, and they're close enough to taking the sweep over 4A Muscatine as well. It's, again, 2 4A squads that they faced against, and honestly, they've kind of been that bend but not break overall. And you take a look at most of their games, they have not allowed too many games of 5 runs or more. In the end, yes, there's been a couple of those they've had to go in and take some big wins here, but this has been a consistent team, and I think our 3A ranker really noted that because the report card comes into play here as well, and what they've been doing. Big wins over Clinton as well, Bettendorf, Central DeWitt. They've took a win over Regina Catholic as well. So they've won where they've needed to, including Davenport North. And they've managed that, and that again without mentioning Solon. And I keep going down the list here. They have been consistent in what they do. It's not always been flashy or pretty, but man, Isaiah Rose is a guy that I just can't get enough of because he truly, he has I believe a hit in almost every single game this year, 45 total overall. But that's without mentioning some really talented guys in there like Ben Yagi. Getting the chance to watch him against Central DeWitt, that was a fun game. He had a pretty good outing there overall. Again, another guy with 30-plus total bases under his belt. But, Cooper Salmon behind the plate's been fun to watch. Gartner as well. Dittmer. Those guys have really come through. And Augie Farrell is one of the sophomores along with Dittmer I think will be huge. You look at the next couple of years, I think they're going to be very, very big. And another thing is, too, I can't wait to see another Argo step on up. The last time that this team made the state tournament, they went all the way to the state title game against Western Dubuque. Jonathan Argo, being the older brother here of Luke Argo, he was the guy he was a big catalyst for him then. And you know what, you're looking at it here, Luke, just about 10 games overall started, but it'd be really kind of cool the last time that they made the state tournament, they went as far as possible. And this is a team well on their way to looking like that again. So, they're a fun team overall. Again, they're not going to be flashy in all the stats that they bring to the table by any means, but they got a lot of guys that can really put out, and a lot of good guys that can put out a lot of good numbers here. So, again, if you're looking at it, Tolley is another guy. I don't know why I didn't mention him. He's a guy in there, 605 slugging. Again, Isaiah Rose at 635. So 2 guys to note here. Pitching is absolutely on fire. They've earned the spot here.
Absolutely. I got to see Mr. Rose in person against North Polk. Just just smooth power, raw power, and I know he had a triple in that game. Just really fun to watch, and really the Assumption team was fun to watch in general. As we get going here inside the top 10, the rest, Harlan, they dropped 3 spots. Bonnarant, Farrar, they maintain. Bonnarant, Farrar, the pitching staff has been a huge story for them. Pella gets a bump up, just kind of their resume. They won 8 of the last 10. Just Mr. Consistent for Pella and the Dutch, it seems like all year long. And then Solon, a doubleheader sweep over Clear Creek Amana, a matchup that could very well happen early in the bracket, in their bracket play, as you could say. And then, as we get into the top 5, Andrew, I'm going to reveal them right here. Marion, the ranker says here in their notes, they've been one of the more consistent teams in Class 3A, as I just lost Andrew. I'm going to continue on here. I don't know where Andrew went. 2 doubleheader sweeps and a tough loss to Beckman made for a strong week for the Wolves. He says in here they still remain as a consistent team in 3A, is the only to sport a top 5 spot in 9 offensive statistics. Strong pitching staff as well has kept the Wolves going inside the top 5. It was a 5-1 week for Marion last week. I'm going to continue on. I don't know where Andrew went. We'll see if he pops back in. Western Dubuque here, they dropped 2 spots after a 2-2 week. Still the only team in the state to rank first in their class in walks, while also top 5 in hits by pitches and top 3 in total hits. This week involved 2 doubleheader splits for the Bobcats, including a 57-run affair against Dubuque Hempstead. The name of the game is to get on base for the Bobcats. They dropped 2 spots here. Nothing to worry about here by any means. I know Andrew would say that too. Going up to number 3, it was Bishop Hewlin getting a bump up, with Western Dubuque going down. Split with 4A's Sioux City East, along with momentum they've carried, have put the Crusaders up a notch in the polls. Honestly, there's a report card plus their week's record that gave them the nod. Obviously, their pitching staff, Bleeker and Lefevre, I put out a graphic on those 2 guys last week. Just really, really good stuff from them as they go 3-1. But the offense is 5th in total bases, 2nd in home runs, and 12th in walks. They've proven that this is a mainstay inside the top 5, and not only in the top 10, inside the top 5. But this is a good team all along, and I really like their bracket, that they're drawing their bracket. If you haven't seen Andrew and I break down each and every 3A and 4A substate bracket, that video is also on YouTube that you can go check out. It's live there. It's been live for a little bit. We talk about Heelan and every other team inside of our top 15 pretty healthily in that video, so go check it out. But as we reveal number 2 here, it is Wahlert Catholic, which means North Polk stays at 1. We'll talk about them in a bit, though. Wahlert Catholic, a light week, you'd say 3-0. The group has cemented themselves as one of the top teams, not just across the class, but across the state. Oh, Andrew says he's waiting for me. I'm not sure what that means, but we'll keep going here. Across the 3rd toughest rated schedule in the class, Wahlert has still proved themselves top 10 in strikeouts, top 7 in team average, and top 10 in total bases, all against a field of 23 Class 4A battles for Wahlert, which is extremely impressive. Again, 3-0 for the Golden Eagles. They get the nod to number 2. And at number 1, North Polk, yes, lost in the docket for the comments, but it was against arguably the hottest team in Class 4A in walk-off fashion. In DCG, that was just an instant classic. Still, rest of the top 10 team in doubles, top 5 team in triples, and a top 10 team in fewest earned runs. North Polk, they'll hold down this number 1 spot. Again, I'm not sure why Andrew popped out. Really nothing crazy in Class 3A. Again, one more reveal of rankings next Monday, I should say, as we approach postseason next Friday. So be sure to check that out. Go follow us on socials. Go give us some love across the channels and like this video so we know you saw it. And drop a comment whether you agree or disagree on something. But we had a ton of fun, Class 3A fans. We appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Monday.